but business partner. Okay. BP. So business partner. In HANA, if you want to create a vendor master, then you have to use this T code only. Okay, this is nothing but your T code, BP. Okay, and in ECC, it was called vendor master. Okay, and in ECC, if you want to create vendor master, so there is a separate T code. Okay, for vendor master, separate T code. The T code are XK01 for create, XK02 for change, and XK03 for display. But in HANA, if you want to create any vendor master, so you have to use only one T code, BP only. So by using this T code only, you can either create, you can also change or display. Okay, anything you can do by only this T code only. Okay. So in BP, we generally maintain three types of data. Three types of data. One is general data. General data. Second one is company code data. And third is purchasing organization data. Okay. So in vendor master or even in BP, okay. So we maintain only these types of data: general data, company code data, and the purchasing organization data. So in general data, what are the things you have to maintain is you have to maintain address of vendor. Okay, where is the address of vendor? Okay, the telephone number, contact number, so the search term, email ID. So these all details you have to fill in the general data. Okay. Then in company code data, you have to maintain reconciliation account. This reconciliation account will be created by the finance people. Okay. At the end of every month, they have to reconcile all the GL related to the particular vendor. Okay. So that is purpose this reconciliation account is used. Okay. Next is purchasing organization data. Here you have to maintain the currency, how much is the minimum order, the currency you have to maintain, then GR based invoice verification you have to take. So these all things, and on other things also you have to maintain. I will show in the screen. So that all you have to maintain in the purchasing organization data. Okay. So what you have to do is and also in the BP, there are in the hierarchy level, the most important thing is accounting group. Okay. So by what is the use of accounting group is, with the help of accounting group, you can identify whether your vendor or BP is domestic. Pritham, you can start the recording. Yeah, hi Pritham, you can start the recording. So I have today our topic is BP. Okay, the business partner, or you can say vendor master. Okay, so if you want to create BP in HANA, Okay, if you want to create your business partner or vendor master, you have to use this T code, BP only. This is the T code to create your BP. Okay, in when ECC, it was called vendor master. Okay, so if you want to create vendor master or BP in HANA, you have to use only this T code, BP only. By using this T code, you can create, change, or display anything you can do. Okay, and in the ECC, if you want to create vendor master, you have to use this T code, XK01, XK02, and XK03. Okay, 01 for create, 02 for change, and 03 for display. Okay. Then in vendor master, we generally maintain three types of data: company general data, company code data, and the purchasing organization data. Okay. So under general data, you have to maintain the address of vendor. Okay. Vendor address, then their contact number, their email ID. Okay. So these are the things you have to maintain in the general data. In company code data, you have to maintain reconciliation account. Then the payment terms also you can maintain in company code data. Then GST number, PAN card number, these all things you have to maintain in the company code data. And in the purchasing organization data, you maintain in which currency you will do the business. Okay, suppose if it is your Indian vendor, so INR currency, then GR based invoice verification. Okay, then the automatic PO if you want to create for this particular vendor. So then there are lots of other settings we have to do in the purchasing organization data. Okay, and in the vendor master, the most in the hierarchy level wise, the first thing comes is accounting group. Okay, so by seeing the what is the purpose of accounting group, you can identify whether your vendor is domestic vendor or one-time vendor or it is an international vendor. One domestic vendor, that is nothing but the vendor it belongs to in India only. Okay, suppose your client is also of India. Okay, some Indian client. So whoever the vendors they are dealing and they are available in India, so they are called domestic vendor. Then the one-time vendor. What is one-time vendor is you barely do any kind of business. Okay, once in a year or half 6 month in a 6 month in a row. Yeah, sometimes you barely you do any kind of business. Okay, hardly you buy anything from that vendor. So that is called one-time vendor. And the international vendor is the outside of India. So whoever vendor is, that is called international vendor. Okay, and in the this data, this reconciliation account is created by the finance team. Okay, it's not our job. They will create this reconciliation account and they will give it to you that this reconciliation account you have to maintain irrespective of accounting group, whether it's a domestic or one time or an international vendor. Okay, then so what are the steps to create to do the configuration is, firstly you have to maintain, and in the ECC, not in ECC, in HANA, the BP role is there. Okay, so if you want to maintain this general data, okay, BP role. If you want to maintain the general data, you have to use these roles. So 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the standard BP role. Okay, you have to select in the BPT code, you have to select this 6 times 0 BP role. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, then company code data. If you want to maintain company code data, then you can use this company code data, BP role, FLVN00. And for maintaining purchasing organization data, FLVN01. Okay, these are the standard BP roles available in the system in S4 HANA. Okay, So if you want to maintain general data, you can use this. Whenever you want to maintain company code data, then FLVN 00 and purchasing organization data FLVN 01. Okay. So this is the standard process. So, but right now, what is the industry demand is, they normally, if you going to create BP, you have to follow these three steps. First this, then save, then again you have to select this, then again maintain the data and save, and then again you have to maintain this and save. Okay, but we can club this company code data and the purchasing organization data in one screen only, so that you can create the BP in two step only. Okay, you no need to require first maintain this, then save, then again you have to maintain this and save, and then again you have to maintain and then save. Okay, you can save the time by clubbing these two data, company code data and the purchasing organization data. By doing this configuration, you can save the time of your client. Okay, so for to maintaining, I will show you how you can create in 3 steps also, and also in 2 steps. Okay, and what is the benefit of 2 steps? Okay, so now the first step is you have to first create vendor accounting group. Okay, here you have to maintain the number range, which should be external. Then BP accounting group, and here your number range should be internal, so that this external number range will act as an internal number range for your BP. Okay, and then you have to club these both accounting group and number range into CVI. CVI is nothing but customer vendor integration. Okay, and the accounting group both should be same. Okay, suppose if you are giving this code ZL12, suppose if you are giving this code for your vendor accounting group, so BP accounting group also same, and also the number range should also same. Okay, so that when you're creating the BP, the BP number and the vendor number both should come same only. Okay, you can, if the business requirement is that it should be separate, then in configuration, if you will not take the same number range, then at the time of creating this BP, you will get different number range. BP number range is different and vendor number will come different. Okay, but this creates confusion to user when creating of PO, whether we have to choose vendor or you have to choose BP. Okay, so that time it creates confusion. So in normally 90% of cases we use same number range only. Okay, now you will see this all theory part in the system. So how to map and all these things. So to do the configuration, you have to come in SPRO screen, IMG, then click on financial accounting, accounts receivable and accounts payable, vendor accounts, master data, preparation for creating vendor master data, and this define account group with screen layout vendors. This you have to execute it. Okay, as you can see, there are lots of accounting group is created by the other users. Okay, we will also create our accounting group for vendor. So new entry, I'm just giving ZL12, okay, meaning domestic vendor of suppose ZL12. Okay, if suppose this is your one-time vendor, then you can click on one-time account. Okay, if it is your regular vendor, domestic vendor, then no need to take this one-time account. Okay, then press enter. Now See, I told you these three data you have to maintain: general data, company code data, and the purchasing data. So if you click in general data, see these are the things you have to maintain: the address, communication, control parameter, payment transaction, and contact person name. So here it's up to you which field you want to make an required entry or an optional or for the display. Okay, or for suppress. Suppress means nothing but hidden. Okay, so in this screen, if you want to make any field as a required entry, then you can make it as a required entry, or you can leave it as an optional entry also. Okay, so whatever the business scenario, so you have to maintain accordingly. Okay, these are the available things in all the data. Okay, like in purchasing data, you want to maintain required entry. If you purchase order currency is required entry, so just maintain as a required entry. Terms of payment also I will do the as a required entry, and I am saving it. Okay, so choose your TR, Control F. Okay, select your TR and continue. Continue. Now save it. Okay, so this is your nothing but your vendor accounting group. Okay, ZL12. Next thing you have to do is go back, and in master data only come here, create number range for vendor account. So you have to create number range. So click on interval. Okay, and then click this plus insert line, and then goes to interval, click on free intervals, and you have to choose from this only. Okay, these are the free number range available. So what I will do, I will not select any number range here. I will just take an screenshot. Okay, and I have to check. Okay, no, so I will do here only. Okay, then I will go in the BP and let check. So suppose L2 I am giving number range code is L2. Okay, and I am selecting this 5 and this 9 times 0, 9 times 1 and 2, and then 5, 999. Okay, so just select this and press continue. Okay, and save it and continue. Okay, so you can see here JK. Okay, it's this is your number range, and here you should tick so that this number range will act as an internal for the BP. Okay, so this you have to select. Now I will take a screenshot, okay, of that number range. Now go back, click on yes, save it. Now go back and just below assign number range to vendor account group. Okay. Now goes to position, search your accounting group ZL12 and assign the number range L2. Okay, and just save it. Continue. This is the first step. Okay. Now you have done here. The next thing you have to come in for the BP. So for BP, you have to go in cross application component. Under cross application component, you have to maintain the BP configuration, business partner configuration. Here you have to also follow the same steps. You have to create accounting group for BP, then assigning the number range. Okay, so these two steps are remain same. Okay, and after that, there's another 4-5 steps for the customer vendor integration, then the PPO object and all these things. So yeah, in cross application component, you have to come in SAP business partner. You have to click here, then goes to business partner, then goes to basic settings. Then you have to come in number range and grouping. Then define number range. Goes to interval, goes to plus. Okay, and I will try to give same number range. So 5, 1, 1, 1, 2, 5, 9, 9, 9, and save it. I think system is not allowing me to do so. It is showing without overlap. See, this is the okay, don't worry. I will delete this. Okay, because our number range also is coming under this. So system is not taking. Now I will do, okay, yes, it's taken now. See, if your number range is already taken by another person, so you cannot use, this system will give an error to overlap. Okay, and also see, if you're going to delete this number range, it will not allow, because you can only delete if number range status is 0. Okay, if it is not occupied, then and only you can delete it. Okay, so that it's taken. Now go back and click on define grouping and assign number range. Okay, so this is an error we are getting of locking. So click on no. So user ID is best only SM12. Go to SM12 T code, enter best, choose all, and delete. Click yes. And go here and define grouping and assign number range. Here you have to go on new entry, grouping ZL12, it is the name. So vendor, okay, and right here domestic vendor of ZL12, and the number range is L2. Okay, press enter and save it. Okay, so here you have, as I created the number range, here you have created number range. And in the next step, you have maintained the same number range to your accounting group. Okay, so this is your nothing but your number range, and this is should be internal. Okay, not external. In vendor only it should be external. Okay, now this part you have done. Now the next thing, what you have to do, I have told you, you can club the company code data and purchasing organization data. So how to club? Come in this business partner role, basic settings only. Go and define BP role grouping. Go to new entry. Just give ZBPL12. Okay, I'm just giving the code. Okay, or ZBPL DM. DM means domestic, suppose. Okay, and right here domestic vendor and description domestic vendor of ZL12. Okay, press enter and then click here. BP role grouping, BP role. You have to click on new entry, goes to BP role, FLVN00, then FLVN01 and press enter. So these are the standard BP role. This is for company code data and this is for the purchasing organization data. And now save it. Okay, I will show you what is here. You just observe what I have written, ZBPLDM. But when I will going to create BP, it will show as ZBPLDM and then X. X will come. It will show that you have clubbed two BP role into one. So X will come automatically. Okay, when I will create BP, just watch when I will create the BP. Okay, so this is ZBPL DM. So ZBPL DM. Now the next thing you have to do the configuration is this. You have to come back, then close this. Okay, this part you have done. CP business partner. Now you have to come in master data synchronization. Then goes to synchronization control, and synchronization object. Here this should be maintained that you can, because BP you can create as a customer or you can create as a vendor. Okay. If you want to create customer, then also you have to use same T code. Okay, so this should be maintained. Okay, by default it will maintain. It's a standard process. Okay, now go back. Then you have to activate PPO. PPO is nothing but post processing object. Okay, so then this synchronization object BP, this should be activated. Okay, if it is not activated, you will not able to create BP. So just check the configuration with whether it is maintained or not. Okay, and then just close this, and then you have to come in CVI, this customer vendor integration. Here you have to do is business partner settings, setting for vendor integration, and set BP role for direction BP to vendor. Okay, here see this FLVN00 and for company code, and FLVN01 for the purchasing organization data. This should be maintained here. Now in field assignment for vendor integration, click on assign key and define number assignment for direction BP to vendor. Here we have to maintain the same number range. So click on new entry. What is the BP accounting group? ZL12, and the vendor accounting group also ZL12. Press enter. Description will come automatically, and click on same number range and save it. Continue. So here you have completed the configuration of complete BP. These are the steps you have to follow. Maybe if one first time you will face issue or you will feel this is the lengthy steps. Okay, but once you do 2-3 times the practice, okay, just watch 2-3 times carefully the steps, then you will be find very easy to do the configuration of BP. Okay, now the next thing I am going to start the creation part. Okay, I will show you how to create BP. So you have to run this T code BP. Just write BP T code. Then this screen will come. Maintain business partner. Now, if there is one person only, okay, suppose you are dealing with only one person and he is doing some kinds of services providing, then you can create as a person. Okay, if it is organization, then you can create as an organization also. Okay, so click on create organization. Then this screen will come. Here, see this create in BP role. So this is by default it will come 6 times 0 for the general data. Now this group, what is the group? ZL12. So just select your accounting group. Okay, if then and only it will take the number range. Okay, as per the accounting group, system will take the number range. Now click company and write your vendor name. Okay, so suppose test BP1. Okay, so in the search term I am writing BP1 only. Okay, if you want to search the any vendor master by using the first name or the any name, if you want to search, then that thing you have to write it. then maintain the address. So suppose just maintain any address. Okay. Then suppose this vendor belongs to Gurgaon. So just write Gurgaon, country IN, and this vendor belongs to Gurgaon. So Gurgaon comes in Haryana. So this region you have to select 07. Okay. And now if you want to maintain other things, okay, if you click on plus more, so if you the big addresses they are provided by the vendor, so you can write, okay. Then the language, in which language you are dealing, so English, just write maintain English. The mobile number, email ID, telephone number, fax number, so these all things you can maintain here. Okay, now press enter and save. First I am showing you how you can create the BP in 3 steps. Okay, in address overview, whatever the address you have maintained, that will come here. Okay, identification, if suppose what kind of business it is, means it is whether it is corporation or private company, so that things you can maintain. Okay, in control parameter, what here it's not required. If something, if you want to fix the visiting hours in your company, okay, then in particular that duration only vendor can come to visit your company. That are the things you can maintain it. Okay, so after this things maintain, just press save. Once you press save, system will generate the number. See, this is the number range we have maintained according to our accounting group. Okay, right. So now this is in display mode. Now click on change mode. Switch between display and change. Okay. And after that, what you have to select, this company code. Sorry, this BP role, FLVN00. First, I am showing you how you can create in 3 steps. Then I will show you how you can create 2 steps. Okay. So just FLVN00. Select this. Okay. And then this company code tab will come activate. This tab will automatically activate once you select this BP role. Okay, just observe here the purchasing organization data is not maintained. That tab is not showing you, right? So just click on company code. This is not your company code. So click on switch company code and write your company code ZL12. See, when for vendor it is acting as an external number, and for BP it is internal. So reconciliation account. So this is domestic vendor. So you have to choose this one, payable domestic. If it is one time, then you have to choose this. Okay, if it is foreign vendor, then you have to choose this one. This is created by the FI consultant. Okay, so just maintain the reconciliation account. Okay, then press enter. Then payment transaction. How you are doing the payment? What are the terms and conditions for payment terms? So there are lots of payment terms are created. Okay, so if you see here, what is the meaning of suppose this 0002? So if you pay the vendor within 14 days, okay, then vendor will give you 2% cash discount. Okay, if it is if you are paying in complete 30 days, then you have to maintain the full payment. So according to the payment terms, whatever the business scenario, you can maintain it. Okay. So I am here selecting 0001 only. Okay. Then payment method. How you are going to do the payment, by check or by cash or by bank transfer. So suppose normally check and bank transfer is using. So just select and press enter. Okay. You can also, if you want to block this vendor, suppose you don't want to do any kind of business. Okay, so you can block as per company code. Okay, at say company code deletion block. If you want to put delete, so you can use deletion flag. Okay, deletion flag means it will not delete permanently. Okay, the system will only put a mark of deletion flag. Okay, so if the business requirement is, if you want to some blocking, okay, so you can block also that vendor. Now save it. Okay, and after this, once you save, same number will generate. Okay, there is not separate number range will come, same number. Okay, and see, once you maintain, the same number is showing here also for vendor. Okay, now again you have to go in change mode and select FLVN01 and then click on purchasing data and enter your purchasing organization ZL12. Then see here, I have maintained the order currency and payment terms in the configuration. So that is why here also it is showing as an mandatory. Okay, so just maintain INR, same payment terms 0001. Okay, then if you want to maintain the salesperson name, telephone number, then you can maintain it. Okay, the most important thing is under control data, this GR based invoice verification. What is the meaning of that? Is goods receipt based invoice verification. Means once you first you create PO, give it to PO, then vendor will send the material into your premises and give it back to you. And whatever based on quantity, you have to do the invoice verification. So that is why this is most important. You have to tick. There are lots of options are there in control data. Okay, so these all things I will explain you once I will proceed further. Okay, because there are a lot of things, there are different types of business scenario. So I will come again and again in this screen and I will show you the new things. Okay. Then the Incoterms. What is Incoterm? Nothing but international commercial term. This basically we maintain in case of a foreign vendor also. Okay. So just maintaining these things and just save it. So once you save, this is the normal process. Okay. In 3 steps. Now you see how you can create BP in 2 steps. Okay. Just click on organization. Okay. Same. This is the okay. And just writing test BP2. Okay. And here BP2. Yes, suppose this is 10. Okay, city, country, and 07. Okay, and then the language here, English. Okay, and just save it. Now the another. Now you have to see here. I'm going in change mode. And what is the BP role we have club? That BP role we have to select. Okay. So what is the BP role we have club? This ZBPL So just let's finish this process. In then BP role, you have to select that ZBPL and you observe it will come as an X. And here company code and purchasing tab. Both tab will activate in one screen only. Okay. I think there's some issue in server, so we should wait for this. And if you want to change anything, just go in here is the change mode. In change mode, whatever you want to change, you can change it. Okay. There is no separate T code to change or display. Okay. Now here BP role ZBP just I think down. Yes. See here ZBPL and see here X is coming. Okay. So if you select this and see here company code and the purchasing, both tab is coming in one screen only. So what now you have to do? just come in company, click on company code, switch company code, maintain your company code. Okay, press enter, maintain reconciliation account. Okay, then click on purchasing. Okay, maintain purchasing organization, Redel 12, maintain currency INR, and maintain the payment terms 0001. Then this GR based invoice verification tab. Okay, so now this is you have done. Now you can save it. Okay, so you have seen in both way. Okay, so in this way you can save the time. Okay, so there is another important thing in the control parameter in purchasing data is you have to click on double invoice verification. Can you see anywhere the double invoice? Check for double invoice. Learning profile, mode of term RMA required, subsequent brand free goods. Thinking additional purchasing data, text. What might it will show? Yes, this check double invoice. What is the meaning of check double invoices? Means this same vendor within the same financial year, he will not give you the same invoice number. Okay. Sometimes vendor create say with the same invoice number for different bills. Okay. So what happened is system will throw an error if you maintain this, that this invoice that particular invoice number is already used against this vendor. So you have to take this check double invoice also. So this is all about complete BP. Okay, you can create BP, you can do the configuration. You have seen how to do the complete configuration, the number range, the creation part, assigning part, each and everything you have seen. Okay. Now another in 1 minute it will close. So you just join the same user ID. Okay, same link you just join again. Here I am stopping it.